I'm Alice, and I run a handmade lampshade business, but I also do embroidery and sewing. And I started this channel so I can give you guys a glimpse of my day-to-day. We just moved to Texas from Washington State to a much bigger house, so I basically turned my former basement workshop into basically it covers 3 bedrooms on the upper floor. So majority of what I do is I've got a lot of customers who order custom lampshades. That's probably a big bulk of what I do. But some of my other hobbies that I really enjoy doing is embroidery and sewing, and today I'm going to sort of take you through going through a very large wholesale order. So I've had to store some of this wholesale order into the guest bedroom on the bed because I'm still not 100% unpacked and I need to figure out where it all goes. Spare room, my iron, a bunch of junk, and so I got this really large wholesale order, and it's from someone who's ordered from me before, and it's like for, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 26, 46 shades total. They ordered 16 normal size shades, but then they ordered 30 small sconces, which are probably like my #1 bestsellers. The sconces ended up being sort of an experiment, like what do I do with my leftover styrene? Ended up taking over a majority of my business. But like I said, since we just moved from Seattle to Texas, the move was really big and I didn't want to restock on a lot of things, so I kind of let them run out, and I wanted to deal with reordering stuff when I got here. Well, a couple of the fabrics that they ordered are, obviously I was running low, and when I looked into trying to reorder it, I think they're going to be discontinued and no longer printed, which sucks because they're, really good sellers. And the only place that had it was this place in Canada, and they no longer ship to the US because of the whole tariff debacle. So I ended up having to sign up for like this forwarding service where they give me like a Canadian address, and they can ship to that Canadian address, and then that forwarding service will send it to me. So I started this order, and because it's so many, I just wanted to get as much done as possible, and then I had to wait on that fabric to come. I got one part of it the other day, so working on those sconces today. There's 10 of them, and I'm just waiting on one piece of fabric for a large shade, which is a 12-inch diameter, and I think that's coming tomorrow. It was supposed to come today, but it's just been such a nightmare. And obviously I didn't want to bring all this stuff on the move, but now I've opened up and getting orders, and I have to like quickly restock. I don't want to get into a situation before where I was so busy and I just got so overwhelmed with all these orders and I just couldn't keep up, and I was just shipping all this stuff late. But anyway, I'm going to take you through the process of, a shade from start to finish. The first part is obviously cutting the styrene. I have to make a list of the sizes. I've got templates for all of it. Got to cut it out. And then once I have it all cut out, I then have to cut out my fabric. And then I have to iron all the fabric. Then I start constructing. So I do everything bulk prep. I mean, that makes the most sense, but here we go. I'm going to take you through cutting the styrene, which is my least favorite part of the process. Okay, so we're going to cut the styrene now. This is probably my least favorite thing to do, from making shades, but you have to do it. So what I do is I make a list of the sizes that I need. Here you're actually seeing me cut out the cylinder drums, so these are easy. because the top and the bottom diameter are the same. So I use my keen cut cutter, and I cut it on my large cutting table, which is a Rhino table. And then you know, if this is something that I can sort of hire someone to do for me, I totally would do it. I absolutely hate it and I dread it, but it's what we have to do to make our things nice and pretty. Yeah, so first step, cutting, measuring the styrene, making sure everything is the right size. And then obviously the next step after this will be the fabric cutting. Well, we're gonna cut, you know, different shapes out and then the fabric. Okay, so here I'm showing you guys the shapes that are not the drum, kind of like the empire, tapered, cone shape. Here I have to actually, I use like a Sharpie, a thin Sharpie pen to draw out the template and like cut it myself manually. I can't use my cutter for this obviously because of the shapes. I just use a heavy-duty craft scissor for this. And again, I hate this part. Sometimes there's a little bit of excess left, and if there's any space, I will use that to make like a sconce or, you know, something else. I try not to waste anything because this stuff can get really, really expensive. So yeah, I mean, you know, it does hurt your wrist, it does hurt your hand. I'm thinking. Okay, so now I am cutting fabric, which again is another big chore. I don't like doing it, but it must be done. I usually store all my fabric in these shelves. They're kind of like those cube shelves. They're not IKEA ones, but they're very similar. And I fold them all up and I kind of have them all categorized. So in my new workshop setup, I actually have it in the same room as the cutting table now, which is great. And so I look at what I need to cut. I kind of pull that out one by one. And the cutting table that I use is pretty big. It's 8 by 10, I think. So it's big enough to sort of cut like large pieces, large shapes that I'm doing. So yeah, so here I am cutting it out. I'm flipping the styrene under because I want to make sure that I get the most ideal pattern placement for my customers. You know, like this yellow one, it's got these beautiful birds. I want to make sure that the birds are sort of front and center of the shade. So yeah, so it's just, you know, one by one, fold it up, put it away. Otherwise the workshop becomes a big mess. But yeah, so again, another tedious step, but it must be done. And I think I will probably fast forward the rest of this.
know I talk a lot about what I don't like, especially the preparation, cutting the styrene, cutting the fabric, but my most favorite part is when all the prep is done and the shade just kind of comes together, the construction part of it. This is my favorite part. Putting the tape onto the rings, smoothing it over, just kind of making sure everything's on there correctly, and just, you know, this part is very technical, and you know, it's kind of repetitive. I've been doing it for so long, so I can kind of do this in my sleep. But yeah, this is my favorite part. Putting the rings on, constructing it, you know, getting it ready for like the final touches. Totally my favorite part. And some of the tricks here is, I mean, there's not one way to do it. You know, I have found the way that I like to do it the best. This is what's worked for me. This is how I think it's going to be the best quality. You know, I think there's quite a lot of lampshade makers out there that, again, make it their own way. But yeah, you just have to, you know, one of the tools of the trade is the Yankee candle that I stole from my mom's bedroom. It's amazing. It just holds that ring in place, and then you have to sort of roll it, make sure it's right at the very edge, and you have to look, you know, both directions. You know, this one, the top diameter and the bottom diameter are very different sizes, which creates that cone, that tapered shape. And you do have to be really, you can't just kind of go through this phase fast. This has to be really slow, controlled, executed perfectly. But yeah, this is my favorite part. And yeah, it just can't be rushed. It just has to, you know, you have to take your time with each one. You know, you can speed up on the prep, but as soon as it comes to this part right here, you just have to go nice and slow, make sure that the ring has caught everywhere that you need it to. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. So like I said, this is my favorite part. So you'll hopefully see, you know, all the stages and it all makes sense. But I think I unfortunately forgot to video the end result of this particular shade, but you'll see some others in just a bit. So I like use these magnets on both sides to sort of hold the seam flat. I usually do this overnight so that it stays. I don't use any glue, I just use this great German tape, and it just cures overnight, and that is not going to come undone. These like little magnets here. So once the magnets are on the lampshade for at least overnight, I like to have it, the longer the better, but at least overnight, I have to take all of them off and then get them ready to be packaged into the boxes to be sent off to their new owners. But before I do that, I like to make them a little bit more professional looking. So I use this plastic, I can't remember what it's called, polyurethane, just to kind of, you know, keep it wrapped, make sure that it's protected from dust and dirt, and also it just makes it look really nice towards the end. So you know, so I kind of wrap every single shade before it gets boxed. I put like a little sticker on each one that says handmade and thank you sticker. And then, yeah, and then I get ready. I have to sort of figure out how I'm going to package them, what size box I need. I usually have very specific box sizes, and once they get past a certain size, I invest in really thick double wall boxes because these shades are very fragile and they can definitely be damaged during transport. I've had that happen, not that often, especially since I started investing in double wall boxes, but look, here's some of the end result of how it looks after it's been wrapped. Oh, this is a little clip of some sconces when they're still got their magnets on there. But yeah, this is sort of like the end result here. But yeah, that's kind of the process. Plastic, polyurethane, handmade stickers, then you gotta box it up. I use packaging peanuts. Try to keep, they're very light. I go through so much of this, but it's more to sort of pad the sides.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my very first vlog on my small business. I have some ideas for some of my next videos, like maybe just ASMR, watch me work, or maybe taking you through like a custom lampshade order, some embroidery. I've got some embroidery orders that I have to do. Also some sewing. I'm going to start sewing some quilted makeup bags. But let me know what you want to see next. I can also do a little tour of the 3 rooms that I use as a workshop. It's still not fully unpacked yet, and we're still trying to figure things out organizational wise. I think I just got some pegboards. But please let me know what you want to see next, and I really hope to see you then. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever you can do. Would be greatly appreciated. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.